If you want to level up and unlock the hottest, highest, and happiest version of yourself, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to today's episode of Hot and Unbothered. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the podcast. If you are new here, my name is Brianna Gomez, and I am your host of Hot and Unbothered. If you clicked on this episode, you are here for a reason. You were called to be here in this moment, and click on this episode and find out how to discover and unlock the hottest, highest version of you. We are here to unlock our magnetic it girl energy and achieve our dream lives, become our dream ideal versions of ourselves. So buckle up, because we are in for a ride. I am so happy to be here talking to you guys. I'm finally getting better at being consistent at uploading. Life has just been crazy, had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of chaos, but I'm trying to be consistent for you guys because I love being here with you. I love recording the podcast. I'm so happy that I finally started this project that I've been pushing off for so long, and we're here and we're doing it. You guys all seem to love my glow up series. I did a spring reset / how to glow up before summer video, and you guys seem to like that one. I know you like the exiting your lazy girl era episode, and I kind of want to do similar content for you guys because you seem to love it, but I don't want it to get repetitive. So this week I have an episode for you guys, and I wanted to talk about how to glow up, but mentally. Because all of these things that I've been saying on the episodes, they require a lot of discipline. So yes, you could implement these healthy habits for yourself. You can start a good routine. You can start doing all these things, but it really means nothing if you aren't doing the internal work. And what I mean by that is, imagine think of the person who you think is the happiest and they look healthy and they might look great, but internally, they might really be hurting. And honestly, even if I look great, even if my life looks put together, if I am not happy and fulfilled with myself on the inside, that all means nothing to me. So today I'm diving into how to have a mental glow up. And I'm kind of in my healing girl era. I have had my moments. I had my feral era, as I like to call it. A lot of stuff I regret. We'll get into it. I really struggled for a couple of years, and that's something I did not show on social media. I had a lot of anxious moments. I was really depressed. I had no structure in my life. I wasn't taking care of my body. I hated the person I was, and so it didn't matter to me if I was working out, if I was doing my maintenance routine, if I was getting ready. All of those things are just temporary physical rewards that we give ourselves. But really, even if I looked in the mirror and I liked what I saw, or if I posted a picture and I loved the way I looked, if I didn't feel good inside, it really didn't matter. Anyway, before we dive into this episode, you guys know I love to share a podcast review. I do this every week, so if you want a chance for your review to be featured in the episode, make sure you leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching on there, or a review on Spotify. This week we have Alana, and she said, "Brianna, clicking and watching this video was a sign for me. You really changed my perspective and mindset about reflecting on my life and to become the better version of myself. This video is what I needed. Brianna, you are my inspirational role model. I will be implementing the things you talk about in my daily life. This is beyond my favorite podcast. Thank you for opening up about your personal experiences and sharing advice." I'm crying, guys. I'm literally gonna cry. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me that people listen to my podcast and actually are affected by the things I say. I just feel like I'm talking to nobody sometimes. But then I remember people like this are listening, and hopefully what I'm saying is helping you. I also want to share a text that I woke up to today from one of my best friends, and it touched me because I struggle, and I'll get into this, but I struggle with discipline and staying motivated because I've been doing social media for a really long time, and it really doesn't feel like I've ever had my big break. And I feel like I could go more in depth about this in another episode, but it is very discouraging sometimes when you're putting a lot of effort into something and it's not getting the recognition you feel like it deserves. But I woke up this morning to a text from my best friend, And she sent me this Bible verse. And I'll put the exact scripture here, but it said, "So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up." And she sent this to me and she was like, "Hey, this just made me think of you. Like, even if it feels like, doing your podcast gets hard or discouraging, like, you are doing something good and you're making a difference in people's lives." And I was crying. I woke up to that message and I was like, that is so true. Even if I'm touching just one person, and let me know because I love hearing from you guys and that's what keeps me going. Even if I'm touching just one person and teaching them something or helping them learn something, that is enough for me. Again, like, I don't make money from this. I just feel called to talk about certain things with you guys, and that's why I'm here. Anyway, let's get into today's episode. So, a mental glow up. There's tons of other things. This is going to be kind of an umbrella topic, and then I'd be happy to break down in depth like all the different things that I'm talking about. A mental glow up for me means having a strong mindset, a healthy mindset, but it doesn't mean you have to be strong all the time. I think it's human emotion to, feel sad or get angry or kind of backslide a little bit. If you are in a rut, if you've been in a slump or down in the dumps lately, that's okay. You can't expect yourself to be at 100 all the time. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace, but just develop the mindset that is very forgiving to yourself. And that is what I think I want to start with today. A huge part of developing a healthy mindset is to be patient with the universe and with the world and with those around you, but be patient with yourself. There have been times I get so frustrated with myself and I will catch myself saying something mean to myself in my head, like, "God, I'm so stupid," or "Why did I, wait so long to get ready," or "I should have done this and this differently." And I'm very critical of myself. And something I want you to remember is that we are our own biggest critics. So when you are hearing that voice in your head that's telling you that something you did isn't good enough, or that you did something wrong or stupid or dumb, remind yourself that that's not real. Like, take a deep breath and be like, "Wait, why am I talking to myself like this?" Because you should be speaking to yourself as if you are a friend, as if you are someone you love. Like, if you say something mean to yourself in your head, stop yourself and be like, "Wait, would I tell that to my mom? Would I tell my best friend this? Like, would I talk to them like that?" The answer is probably no. So I want you to switch the script of how you perceive yourself and how you talk to yourself and really try to focus on talking to yourself and treating yourself with kindness. And a huge part of this for me, and this is sometimes like hard to talk about. I wanted to do a full episode about this, but I think I need to be in a more emotionally stable state, I guess. But a huge part of creating a healthy mindset is to forgive yourself and take accountability for your past self. And we've all got some demons in the closet. We've all got some stuff that we have tried to bury, and you did something bad or regretful or embarrassing and you didn't like the person you were, and you want to throw that in the past and don't look back. You have to acknowledge that. And that's scary. That's very scary. But something that I've been doing lately is acknowledging the mistakes I made in the past. And by that I mean, I don't know, I just had this whole era in like 2022, I want to say, where I absolutely hated the person I was. I was going out, I was partying, I was kissing boys. Okay, that made me sound like a hoe, but that's not something that is in my normal character, values, and morals. But I was going out, partying, getting drunk, smoking. I had no job. I quit my real day job to pursue social media full time, which I loved, but I had no structure, so I just went off the rails. The moral of the story is, if you just brush off the bad things that you've done or the bad things that happened to you, how are you supposed to heal from them? So I have this version of my past self that I was like, "Oh my gosh, that never happened. Don't want to address it, don't want to acknowledge it." But those things happening, that version of myself, that's the reason why I am the person I am today. And I look at her and I feel bad for her. And I do struggle with forgiving myself for that sometimes. I think about when I was in a horrible, toxic, abusive relationship. No one wants to think about those things, but I realize I have to address those things in order to move past them. Because if you just keep shoving everything under the rug, it's going to pile up and it's going to snowball until, honestly, you explode. You reach the breaking point, you explode at one point because you're brushing off all these things that you didn't know were having an impact on you. So I think a huge part of it is address the scary things in your life. It's like the elephant in the room. And I feel like once I started addressing these things, journaling about it, doing the inner work, talking about it, I feel a sense of peace almost because I feel like it's me forgiving myself for what I put myself through. Does that make sense? Because you have to release these things somehow. So like if it's writing it down, if it's talking about it, like it's like you're letting it out of your body. So don't keep those things to yourself. It's not a good feeling to hold it in. And I feel like that was a huge aspect of why I'm able to move forward and why I'm in my healing girl era. I am not completely healed, trust me, but I'm working on it. And I feel like addressing those things is part of why I am where I am today. And basically, it's shadow work. If you don't know what shadow work is, I highly suggest you look into it. But I got a shadow work journal actually. This is not sponsored. I was going to pull it out, but it's fine. The shadow work journal, it has things about, your inner child or why you think the things that you're afraid of are your biggest fears. Why do you think you are this certain way in a relationship? And it brings you back to the root. It kind of forces you in a way to bring up those versions of yourself that you didn't really like, but I found that it's really helpful. So I highly suggest doing that and forgiving yourself and not ignoring the bad things that happen to you. Because your bad moments do not define you. So I think developing that mindset is really healthy and beneficial in allowing you to move forward. Another huge thing in a healthy mindset is protecting your peace. Being on social media, especially, I've learned that you don't have to share everything. And a lot of people, they just show their highlight reel. So you can show the struggles, if you're on social media like that. It is kind of refreshing to show things that aren't entirely perfect. But I mean, you don't have to show every little win in your life if you don't want to. I feel like on social media, you feel like, oh, I have to get this picture of this and prove that it happened. Or like, I have to tell people that this happened because I need the validation and the attention. Like, no, you need to let go of that constant need for validation and attention and approval because that will get you nowhere in life. You have to start seeking that approval from yourself because everyone will always have something to say about what you're doing. I could post a video and someone could say like, oh, I feel like you should have done that differently. Or like I could post something talking about something serious and someone will say, I feel like you shouldn't have said that. Okay, that's your opinion, but I am on my own journey and it's not yours. It's mine. So like let me figure that out for my own. I'm not saying like ignore advice from people you love and stuff like that, but stop worrying about the constant judgment from others. When you hold on to that fear of what other people are thinking of you, you are keeping yourself so stuck. You have to learn to erase that. I did a whole episode on how to stop caring basically and let go of that fear and step out of your comfort zone. Highly suggest listening to that. Protecting your peace can mean a lot of things. To me, that also means learning to reassess your inner circle. And if there's someone in your life who is rubbing you the wrong way, if you feel like this person has not actually been a good friend to me, you can also remove them from your life. Protecting your peace is being selective with what you share with people and also who you are sharing your life with because you are so valuable and there is no room in your life for negative energy because energy is so transferable. I said this once, I'll say it a million times. Someone else's negative energy and their bad juju can wear off on you. So make your inner circle a positive environment for you to grow in. You want to be surrounded by people who are cheering for you, who are motivating you and inspiring you to be your best self. Also, learning how to say no. I'm going to do a whole episode on this because learning how to say no is so important. And I struggle with this, for years. Like my friends would be like, oh my God, let's go out and drink. And I'd be like, okay. Like, even though that's really not something that makes me feel good inside. I mean, don't get me wrong, every now and then I love a little drinkity drink with dinner, but like going out and partying and getting absolutely demolished and blackout drunk is not on my bingo card. It's just not. And so that is not something that I feel the ideal version of myself does. And so learning how to say no to these things. And I'm not saying don't see your friends. Like if they all want to go out and party, let them do that, but maybe offer an alternative. Like, hey, like that's not really my vibe right now, or I don't really feel up to that right now. Offer an alternative. Like I love, love, love doing wholesome things with my friends, like going on a beach walk, sitting and journaling, or like sitting in the car and just talking. Like I love those therapeutic moments. So really work on reassessing your inner circle and also the activities you are doing with them, or finding someone to motivate you, to take a yoga class or a Pilates class or work out with. Like your friends are supposed to be your rocks. Like, obviously, you should be able to stand alone, but your friends are supposed to add to your life and not drain you. And I have another episode on fake friends and things like that. And I think you should really listen to it if you're looking to truly level up your mindset in your circle. And while friends are so important, it's also crucial to practice being alone with yourself. You need to be comfortable standing alone because at the end of the day, people will come in and out of your life, but the one person that will always be there is you. So, you have to really focus on building and maintaining a relationship with yourself as if you were maintaining a relationship with another person. I know this might sound silly to say, but like take yourself on dates. Spend time alone with yourself. There's nothing wrong with a night in and a journal and a candle and some self-care and a face mask or cooking yourself a nice meal. Do things for yourself that you want to do for other people. And I get it. I'm a lover girl at heart also. Like I love doing things for other people, but you have to pour into yourself the way you pour into other people. Like the way you want to love other people and the way you want to be loved, you have to love yourself that way first. And I think some people are very afraid of being alone. And you have to get over that fear. And that's something that I have worked on a lot. And I actually really enjoy my alone time now. Read a book, sit at the beach, go on a walk, obviously in a safe place. But you know what I mean. Spend time with yourself and not in a way that is a distraction. I think we use social media very often because it's a brainless activity. Like, yeah, you might be sitting alone on TikTok. I don't count that as alone time. Yeah, it might be fun sometimes, but like you aren't forced to be alone with your thoughts. And I think that's something a lot of people are afraid of, and that's why they do it. Maybe you always need to have a show going or music on or something like that, and that's super fun, that's super good, but give it a try every now and then to sit in silence with yourself or put on a meditation frequency or something, but see what thoughts come to your head when you sit in silence with yourself. I know it might be uncomfortable, but I've had my best ideas and realizations and healing moments by sitting with myself, whether it's just in my own head or journaling. I just really do value the time alone with myself. So if you ever feel like lonely, remind yourself that you're not alone. You're spending time with you. Another thing I want to say is stop comparing yourself to others and stop doing things because other people are doing it. No one likes a copycat, first of all. So, trends are one thing, but like, don't be like, oh, like my best friend is working out and working on herself, so I need to work out and work on myself. You can't say, oh, I like this guy and he likes super fit girls, so I'm going to start going to the gym and being super fit. Like, that will never work out for you. You will never be happy. Again, even if you do go to the gym and achieve the highest version of yourself, if your ulterior motive the entire time is gaining someone else's approval, you will never be content with it. So that's why you need to do things for yourself because you truly want to, because it makes you feel good and because you enjoy it or because you want to set that goal for yourself. You can't do it because you want someone else's approval. You will never be happy that way. And honestly, 90% of the time, you're not going to fully accomplish the goal. Comparison truly is the thief of joy. And I think that with social media and stuff, like I was saying, we just get a highlight reel of everyone else's lives and the best moments. So you can't be like, oh, like she looks so good, like she's so fit, especially with summer coming up. I know you're going to be seeing some bikini pics. And if that makes you self-conscious or insecure, remind yourself that you're only seeing their best angles. This was probably one photo they chose out of 50,000. You know what I mean? Like there are so many and they're just choosing the bits that they want to show you. Of course, they're not going to show you the one where they look bad or a bad angle because that's what social media is. So I want you to really practice not comparing yourself to others and truly doing things for yourself and the things that you enjoy. And probably the biggest one that is the most important to me is gratitude. Practicing gratitude is the strongest way to attract things into your life. And whether you believe in the universe or God, like if you say thank you to them, they reward you with more. That's just the way energies work. If you put good energy out, you will get good energy back in. So if you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like I hate my life, I hate my job, I don't want to go, like think of all the little things there are to be grateful for in those moments. Even if you are going to work, even if you're stuck in traffic, like, thank God I have a car. Thank you, universe, for giving me a job that's going to pay the bills. And that's the reason I can eat. And that's the reason I have a place to live. Or when you're working, maybe you have a favorite coworker. And it might suck that you're at work, but be so grateful that this job is what brought you guys together. And there's so many people out there who wish they had a job, who wish they live where you live, who wish that they could have a car to get them to and from work. There are so many blessings in a day that we just ignore because we've become so used to it. And it's sad because we're so comfortable with life that we just expect these things. You know, we expected to have a job. We expected to eat lunch today. We expected to have a bed to sleep in at night. Not everyone has that. And I know this might sound like preachy, but I'm just saying, be grateful. Say thank you. So do this in a journal. Do this when you pray. Do this when you meditate, because there are so many things to be grateful for. And I promise, like, it will make the biggest difference in how you view life. And even if you're like, oh, like I have to work out, you get to work out. And you should be so thankful that you have a body that moves. You have a body that can keep you going every single day, that lets you walk. You have arms that move. Like, there is so many blessings that we just overlook because we're just so used to it. Like, we're so entitled to it. And it's crazy because not everyone has that. And when you practice gratitude, you are looking at life through a lens of abundance, which is such a healthy mindset to have. And on days where I'm really focused on gratitude, they are my best days. And you gain more of what you attract in life. So if you're looking for things to be grateful for, more blessings will keep coming your way. I'm gonna stop there for today because I know that's kind of a lot to take in, but I have so many different mindsets and techniques and concepts and lessons that you guys can learn if you want from my podcast. Let me know if you want anything in depth. I definitely want to do a law of attraction one, law of detachment, maybe a positive mindset one, because I could talk about mindset and healthy mentality forever, and I think it's really important to share with you guys. I have a whole episode about self-concept and how to achieve confidence and how important it is to stop seeking approval from others. So definitely go listen to that one. But yeah, I have so many different episodes on mindset and stuff like that. So scroll through the episodes and, you know, really work on leveling up your mindset, because like I said, the physical means nothing if you don't have the mental glow up to go with it. The podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow at Hot Unbothered on Instagram and TikTok, or my personal at Brianna Gomez with 2 B's on Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Snapchat if you guys want to add me and see what's up on my day-to-day life. And yeah, that sums it up. Make sure you guys leave a review if you like the podcast. DM me or leave a comment if there's any other things you want me to talk about in our next episode. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next Friday. Love you. Bye. Mwah.